Hi, Linda. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, you're welcome.
How's your week been?
It's been great. Thanks for asking.
Good. So, today, during our session, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the feeling of shame. Um, when you think of shame, what do you think of? How would you define shame?
Um, Being embarrassed or humiliated in front of other people, or feeling bad about myself for doing something that I wish I hadn't done, probably.
Yeah, those are, yeah, very, very great examples. Shame is basically, like you said, just a really unpleasant feeling that stems from like a sense of embarrassment, a sense of inappropriateness in your social behavior. And the thing about shame is that it can lead to a lot of mental health problems and issues later if it is chronic and it goes unchecked. So today I wanted to do a little exercise with you called the wished for outcome. Have you ever heard of this?
No. Mm-mm.
So the wished for outcome is basically I'm going to ask you to recall a specific memory where you felt shame, embarrassment, um, that kind of unpleasant feeling. And then I'm going to ask you to reimagine that situation, that story, with a more positive outcome. And in doing this, our goal is to kind of rewire your brain so that instead of feeling that chronic shame emotion, it will rewire your brain to think of this memory in a more positive outlook. Um, so, can you think of any memory where you felt shame or embarrassment or?
Actually, yes. I do recall a memory. I think I was in fourth grade, and it was back when they would do like fluoride treatments in the school. So this person came in and passed out these little dissolving pills and like a paste, and you were supposed to just sit at your desk and rub it around your mouth to coat your mouth with fluoride. And I couldn't do it. It was awful, and I was like gagging and thought I was going to throw up. And I remember just feeling terrible because the teacher was just looking at me with such disgust and what's wrong with you. And I like had to go to the back of the room and like rinse out my mouth in the sink. And I just remember feeling really ashamed because I was reacting like I wasn't. It's like I couldn't help it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I can't imagine that feeling, especially being so young at that point. And that is a great example of that feeling of shame because it was a social behavior and you saw somebody's reaction to it, which then made you have the reaction of shame. So now I'm going to ask you to kind of rewire that memory. So, what would have been a more positive outcome to that situation?
Well, I guess either my reaction being better and it was no big deal and I could just do it and not have an issue with it, not have to like go to the sink and be gagging and everything. Yeah, and just that it not being a big deal. Oh yeah, we're in school and we're going to do this and it's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you think of that memory now, that is the outcome that I want you to think of that you associate with that memory. And in doing so, we hope to kind of rewire your brain, and in practicing this over and over, it will become more natural to have a more positive recollection. Um, so I want to thank you so much for practicing that with me. How do you feel about that exercise?
It's very interesting. I would never even consider that. I will work on that, try to do it, and see if it makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, there are many different techniques in therapy. So if one technique doesn't work for you, we can always try another. But practice practice always helps as well. So this is definitely that's something that we can work on in the future if you're interested in. And I again want to thank you so much for doing that with me. And I will see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.